Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Today I'd like to introduce Ian Leslie, who's the Head of Business Development for Aon. Ian, thanks for coming down and making, by all accounts, a rather empty train journey down from Birmingham this morning.
It was. I had a carriage to myself, which is slightly surreal, but given the times, I suppose it's the new normal.
I guess no one's got the back to work memo quite yet, or certainly not for, for central London commuting.
No, and certainly not at the train time that I was on this morning. So
I appreciate it. Thanks for making the journey. You and I speak on a relatively regular basis, and I guess a subject that comes up an awful lot, more from you than from me, is zombie companies. So I know you've got a few things you wanted to get off your chest, and I thought this would be a great forum for that to take place. So I guess if you want to start by explaining what a zombie company is in a technical sense, and really just the floor is yours.
Yeah, sure, and I'll be as technical as I can be about it. Look, the term zombie company is one that most people have heard of these days. Apparently it started in 1987 with the US banking crisis. Grew popularity, really, for us in kind of Western Europe. It grew in popularity with the financial crisis and became a term used to describe a business. I think the technical term is if their ICR, so interest cover ratio, is at 1. So it's a business that is alive, but barely. So there's two real definitions. There's the narrow one, which is the ICR, as I mentioned a second ago. And then there's a wider definition which looks at how much a business is investing, whether their revenue is stagnating, so what the revenue trend is, their cash flows. So it's one of those where it's a term that lots of people use, but actually the definition of it kind of depends who you're talking to. But it definitely is something that's worth our conversation today, put it that way.
And is it worth our conversation today because obviously post-pandemic we're in a very different world than we were a year or two ago now, or is this something that's just been sort of bubbling away in the background anyway?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't caused by the pandemic. This is an issue that's been going on for a while. So we saw it in the financial crisis, it kind of went away for a bit, and then it started to grow. Back even in 2019, KPMG were estimating that 1 in 7 businesses globally were in a zombified state. And what the pandemic has done is exacerbated that situation.
Right.
So a think tank in the UK called Onward did a load of research to see what effect the pandemic had had on the numbers. And what they found was that 1 to 4% new businesses have gone into a zombified state, which takes the total in the UK to around 20%. So if you think of that as 1 in 5, it kind of shows the gravity of the situation. So it hasn't been caused by the pandemic, it's definitely been exacerbated and made worse by it.